This is the homework video for 10/7/15, and I'd like you to use the same paper, if you can, anyway, as you did for page 42, number 5, A and B, because you're still doing number 5, you're just doing C, D, and E. Okay. Okay, the first question asks you to figure out what it would, how many people, you could take if you had $500. So you have three equations, and what you're going to have to do is where the C was, the cost, because you have $500 of money, you're going to have to substitute the 500 in for the C, and then you're going to need to solve each of these equations. And solving each of these equations means figuring out what n, the number of people, is. So here's my work, and you need to show all your work as well. Fix it if you did it wrong or you didn't show work. For roll away, the equation is 500 equals 5n. In order to get the n by itself, I divide by 5 here, giving me 1n or n, and I divide by 5 here, giving me 100. In order to figure out the cost at Wheelies, the number of people at Wheelies, 500 equals 100 plus 3n. First, I have to subtract the 100 from both sides, and that gives me over here 3n, because the 100 is now gone, and over here 400. And now I have the equation 3n equals 400. I divide by 3 here, and I divide by 3 here, and I got n equals 133.33. But it's not possible to have like a third of a person. So that means that at Wheelies, the most amount of people you could take if you only have $500 is 133 people. And at the last place, Wheels to Go, if I substitute the 500 into the cost spot, I get the equation 500 equals 35 plus 4n. I have to subtract the 35 here, and I have to subtract it over here. Remember, whatever you do on one side of the equation, or the equal sign, you do on both. That gives me 4n over here, and over here 500 minus 35 is 465. Now I have to divide by 4 here, and divide by 4 here. That gives me n is equal to 116.25. But again, it is not possible to have a quarter of a person go to the escape place. And so people are always referred to as whole. Even if they're handicapped, they're still going to be referred to as whole. It'd be horribly cruel and not very kind at all to call somebody a fourth of a person, even if they were handicapped. They're a whole person still. So n equals 116. Okay, the next question said that they gave you some points. This is question D, and you had to figure out which of the equations had that as a point on the line. One way to do that would be to realize that this is number of people and this is cost, and to substitute these two numbers into the C spot, C, and the people spot in the equation, and then see if the equation was true. So here I said 100 in the C spot equals 5 times the N spot, people. Well, 5 times 20 is 100, it's not 115. So then this point does not lie on the line for, which one was that? For rollaway skates. And then I tried, the next one I tried was for Wheels to Go. So 115, the cost, equals 4 times 20, that's the number of people, plus 35. Well, 4 times 20 is 80, and 80 plus 35 is 115. So the point 115 does lie on the line for Wheels to Go. And then last, I tried putting it in for Wheelies skates and stuff. Their equation was 100 plus 3n equals C. So I put the 115 because it's money in the cost spot, and the 20 in the people spot. And then 3 times 20 is 60, and 60 plus 100 is not 115. Now I'm repeating that with a new point up here. 295 is the cost and 65 is the people. So in the first equation I put 295, the cost, is equal to 5 times 65. And when I did 5 times 65 on my calculator, it's not 295. So then what that means is that the point 65, 295 does not lie on the equation for rollaway skates. Now I'll try wheels to go. So 4 times 65 plus 35 is equal to 295. So that means that the point 65, 295 does lie on the line for wheels to go. And then 295 is equal to 100 plus 3 times 65. This is the equation for wheelie skates and stuff. And 3 times 65 plus 100 is 295. So that means that the point 65, 295 does lay on the line for wheelies, skates, and stuff. Last one I have to check, 50, 250. So if 250 goes in the cost spot and 50, all this work you should be showing, because I shouldn't see just a no, a yes, and a no. I want to see the work. You're going to show me you're substituting this in and that you're finding out what it's equal to. So make sure you're copying this work down. 5 times 50 is 250, so that means that 50, 250 does lay on the line for rollaway. And down here, 4 times 50 plus 35 is not equal to 250, so then that means that the point 50, 250 does not lay on the line for wheels to go. And last, if you do 100 plus 3 times 50 for the wheelie skates and stuff, 3 times 50 is 150 plus another 100 is 250, so that means the point 50, 250 does lay on the line for wheelie skates and stuff. Be sure that you showed all your work so you get full credit for watching the video. Here we go to E, the last one for today. Okay, now it says to pick one of the points. I just randomly picked 50, 250, and then ask a question that you could answer with the coordinate point 50, 250. So, and you can pick whatever point you want. Just make sure that you asked the question and answered it correctly. In fact, I would love if you picked a point different from mine, but you don't have to. Okay, so the equation for wheelie skates and stuff is 100 plus 3n. So I asked the question for wheelie skates and stuff, how much would you pay for 50 people? So you'd have to put the 50 here. You'd have to do 3 times 50, and then 50 plus 100, and you'd get 250. So if you use the graph, you'd go over to 50 on the x-axis, you'd go up to the line, and then from the line you'd go straight over and you get 250. And that's the question that I asked and the answer with this coordinate. Okay, you're done with tonight's homework. See you tomorrow.